Alright guys, so a couple days ago I made a video about kind of my current thoughts on the Howard Terminal situation, and I kind of made it as an update because I all through this saga of A's, ballpark, dilemma, if you will, I have kind of shifted my opinions in certain ways, but I've also kept updates with it. I've kind of been expressing the realness of it, but also been talking about what I personally think. And I think this shirt represents my thoughts on it. I think the A's are rooted in Oakland. I think they're going to stay in Oakland. No doubt in my mind. I don't think they're leaving. But a lot of people, think I'm too confident, and I understand that. You have your own opinion. I have my own opinion. I know if you think they're going to move to Vegas, I disagree with you, but I understand why you might think that, and here's why. The media loves just absolutely making the A's look terrible. That's the most simple way I'm going to say it. The MLB media hates the A's. That's obvious. We had reporters on Twitter that work for MLB Network calling Oakland a slum, which, first of all, is just ignorant. Oakland's one of the most expensive places to live in the entire country. And that's besides the point, though. The A's just get the short end of the stick because they're a small market team and they play in a small market city. And yeah, that's obviously going to happen. But the fact that real reporters are saying ignorant stuff like this influences people. And I think, if you listen to that stuff, it can really get to you. And luckily for me, I have my own opinions on it because I do research on it. Like a lot of these reporters, they don't do their research, like for MLB Network and stuff. You can go look on Twitter. There's plenty of them that talk about like Las Vegas as a real option, and it's not really relevant because it isn't. And from what I've heard, this is the funniest part, and I highly doubt a lot of people know this because it's not being talked about in the mainstream media. The A's, every time they go to Vegas on these trips, right? Every time they go, it's a new site they're talking about. It's a brand new site, which makes me believe they're not prepared at all with this Las Vegas move. They're really, dropping the ball on it. I mean, seriously, if you change your plan, if you have let's play devil's advocate for a second. If the A's really had real legitimate talks with Vegas, they would be set on this one area. They would be, okay, we're right here. We're committed to this area where we have, the renderings all laid out. No. Every time they go to Vegas, it's, oh, we want this area. Oh, no. It's like, it's stupid. So that brings me to my next point. Today, well, actually yesterday, the San Francisco Chronicle, which is another source that loves to just make the A's look bad. I don't know why. It's a local news source. You would think that more of like people that don't know Oakland well would be the ones to talk bad about Oakland sports. But I guess it makes sense. San Francisco it's kind of a rival in terms of not play with the A's and Giants, but it's like, the Giants have bragging rights and stuff. I could go into detail, but the exact headline was A's proposed ballpark in jeopardy after Alameda County delays vote on helping Oakland fund it. And I'll tell you, as confident as I am with the whole staying in Oakland thing, like I literally made a video 2 days ago about it, how confident I am. I'm 100% sure. As confident as I am, when I saw this article's headline, my heart sunk. I was like, what? What does this mean? The ballpark is in jeopardy? This ballpark we have been planning for 4 years? It's in jeopardy after this one thing? And boy, that was maybe one of the biggest clickbait titles I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to tell you right now, the ballpark is not in jeopardy. It's actually the opposite. It's actually progressively, being talked about every day. Oakland is working really hard, actually, and I got to give them credit because they weren't earlier, and now we're seeing steps in the right direction. Oakland is really trying to get the A's to stay here, right? That's why I'm 100% positive, 100% they're not going to move. But first of all, it's not in jeopardy. Second of all, Alameda County delayed the headline didn't mention anything why they delayed the vote, which is mentioned in the article. Obviously, if you're given this big plan, right, a multi-billion-dollar project, you're not just gonna, accept it with no details. That's not smart. Yeah, I would have done the same thing. We saw this a mile away. Of course, Alameda's just not going to turn a blind eye to things that they want to focus on. They're just, they need more time. And so you read the article and then you realize, as I did, oh, the ballpark isn't actually in jeopardy. This is just clickbait, and it just goes to show how big of a, you know, effector, I guess, if you will, the media is with this ballpark thing. Because, I mean, this whole way through, the negative side of it, right? I mean, first of all, let's be real. Why is Las Vegas such a big focal point? Like, why whenever we hear about Las Vegas, it's, you know, the A's are moving there. It's sure Dave Kaval goes on trips there, so does Fisher, but the media has been boosting this so much. They want this controversy, and Dave Kaval wants it too, because it's all part of his bluff. And people, you know, I'll step out. I'll digress for a second. Dave Kaval has mentioned it's not a bluff, which isn't true, because clearly you wouldn't be that committed to Oakland and also be bluffing. But people say it's not a bluff. It is. It is a bluff. And Manfred said it isn't a bluff. Manfred doesn't know anything. I highly doubt he knows what's going on in this situation, because he's the one that started the whole saga anyways, with his kind of ignorance at the beginning of it back in May. But, you know, it's really because of the media. Las Vegas Review-Journal has a huge following, and yeah, some of their articles are great. I mean, I've learned stuff on there that I didn't know before. But a lot of their articles are very I mean, naturally, they're a Las Vegas-based news article. They're very biased. You know, they're just... And the A's, you know, the Oakland side of things, it's completely different. It's like the Oakland news sources are not biased at all. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in support of it. I'm saying it because it's true. All of my research, all of my correctness that can be verified has been mentioned in those articles, which are, you know, the local Oakland A's sources, and they're not, you know, outsiders like an MLB Network talking bad about Oakland, calling it a slum. You can go find, I don't remember the guy's name. I have no planning on paying attention to who he is. I mean, he disrespected, like I said, a city that's one of the highest, what's the word? Most expensive to live in. That's what I'm trying to say. And calling it a slum, it's like, seriously, man, you're trying to create controversy by just talking bad about a city and no evidence to back it up. Yeah, Oakland's a big city. Obviously, it has its issues, just like every other big city. But that's not really my point. My point is the media, in every controversy, in politics, in sports, in everything, is gonna affect you. So I'll close out on this, right? If you're the type of if you're the person that comments on my videos, they're moving to Vegas, you're wrong. I want you to just step back for a second and think to yourself: are you looking at a legitimate news source, or are you just, you know, kind of cycling through articles, looking at things that are kind of clickbait for clicks, or, you know, maybe don't really have a title that's really appealing, like A's proposed ballpark in jeopardy after Alameda County delays vote on helping Oakland fund it? Or, you know, I'll leave it at that. You know, are you gonna... Yeah, that's it, basically. So anyways, guys, that was a little bit of an explanation as to why I'm so confident, because people are saying you can't be 100% sure. And I know it's not good to be 100% sure on things all the time, but I'm 100% sure because I've done my research. I've done extensive hours. I've talked to people face to face. I have done so much research on this ballpark because it's my dying wish to get the A's a new ballpark and get us a World Series. And, you know, that's why I'm so confident, because I truly believe it's going to happen in Oakland. And it's not just because of speculation. It's because I've done my research. So anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys later. Go A's.